Doug to put that on. Ooh. I was going to show the pen.
Okay, happy Monday. I want to say TGIM or something like that. Teresa, Teresa's getting her microphone on. She's gathering her stuff, and I'm really excited because Teresa's here with the new Tim Holtz Glaze colors. And if you're not sure what his embossing glazes are or what they do, she has some amazing samples, and she's going to tell us all about it. And Teresa's gathering up her last thing. She's getting her notes together. And we are memory bound right in the middle of Iowa, in the middle of the country. We're so happy that you're joining us. Good morning, everybody. Oh, Candy says it's a snowy Minnesota. Ooh, we do not have snow. It's going to be 60 today. And you know what? Diane is wearing her sandals today, and I'm not, and I'm really jealous because I didn't even think about it. So good morning. Billy Sue says, good morning, crafty crew. Here are some of the embossing glazes that Teresa's using today. And she's going to show us how they work. And they're kind of like an embossing powder, but a little bit different because, you know, it's Tim Holtz. So here's our Monday morning crew over here. Hi, Chris.
Good morning.
And Diane and Maggie. Good morning. Oh, sunny Indiana, says Donna. And Barbara says good morning from Illinois. And Karen, hi there. Hi, Carol. Here is that new collection from Simple Stories called Boho Baby. We showed a lot of new product last week, tons and tons, and luckily Diane is back now to help us get our freight checked in. We've shown you all this purple goodness for all of our purple lovers. And tomorrow, Jennifer's going to be here, and she has projects. She took a virtual class that uses this stamp, die, and stencil set from Hero Arts. And it's called Flowers and Vase or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, Teresa. I don't see the name of it. Do you see a name anywhere? She's got some samples that look different. They're some of them have a little bit different colors. She's done it in craft.
Yes, flowers and vase.
Flowers.
They couldn't have made it more
What a name. I think I could have come up with something a little better. So that's tomorrow. But today we got Teresa here.
Hi.
Yippee, because it's Monday.
Just a reminder.
And that looks so nice with your sweater, Teresa. I love it.
I planned it.
We did. We got another shipment of the magazines because we had so many disappointed people that we were out of them. And remember, it's National Craft Month, and you get a free $5 memory bound gift card with your magazine.
Yeah.
So you can be even more crafty than you already are. Okay, Teresa, Lori says it's Happy Pie Day, 3/14. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. We need pie.
We need pie. Bring on the pie.
All right, well, my husband Doug is here, and we'll see if he can go get us a pie this afternoon. I wish I would have thought of that ahead of time.
Yeah.
I know that.
All right.
Yeah.
Corrine says we're a bright spot on a cloudy Arkansas day.
Next year, maybe we need to do pie cards. You know, with
pie
the numbers.
Oh,
Stamping the
yeah.
numbers
or
or...
even with real pies.
Oh, pie. Yes,
You
yes.
know, one year we gave away
and
a
coffee.
pie, a free
pie.
pie. If you free pie in July, that
Yeah.
was quite a few years ago. That was really fun.
Pie and coffee cards would be fun.
Mary's
Yeah.
going to go make a pie. All right, and Mary has a question about the new Foundry product from Tim Holtz, and that, I believe one shipment of that is already on its way to us, and I hope we have it by Friday, and we've got a refill shipment coming also. I think everybody forgot about Pie Day, so Lori, thanks for reminding us all.
Yeah.
We love that. Good morning, Julie from Minnesota. And Megan is here, and Maggie's watching, and oh gosh, we got a big crowd. We got a big crowd today, Teresa. No pressure.
All right.
No pressure.
I'll just forget about that for now.
Yes.
So today we are going to talk about the Tim Holtz glazes that came out. And the reason that he calls them glaze is because they are translucent. So most of the time, embossing powder, it covers the paper or whatever you're putting it on. But the Tim Holtz glazes are translucent, so you can actually see through the glaze into the paper that you are stamping on. So if you put it on a pattern paper, then you can see what's underneath. So that's kind of cool, and sometimes you want that. Maybe sometimes you don't, but that's what the glazes are, kind of their thing is made for.
Great idea. I love the idea of it.
I do too.
And his 6 new colors came in, and that's why he has, I don't know how many colors he has now, Teresa. Not all the distress colors yet.
No.
But
and then
a lot of them.
Then we have 6 here plus the saltwater taffy. I included that today because it's such a new color, just came out a couple weeks ago. And so I wanted to show that too. So, what I did is I made some swatches. Tim does that a lot with his things of all the colors.
Teresa, those are amazing.
Yeah, and I use the Dina Wakley tags, which are perfect for making swatches if you want to do that. We've got the number, I can never remember,
number
Kelly.
8s.
The number 8s for $12.99, and then we have the bigger ones. So if you wanted to do
a big swatch,
or what you could do was put the color of ink and oxides on there, your spray. You know, you could put everything on one tag. What a good idea! I like that.
Yeah, really.
And they're nice thick paper, so they're going to hold up. And those are both $12.99. So what I did is I took a piece of pattern paper and I stuck that down on there with some matte medium, and then I used my my embossing dauber, and we've got the Tim Holtz ones right now. They're $5.99. We do, Ranger does sell one, and that's what I have. We're out of this right now, but they're basically the same. I think Tim says his is a little bit thicker.
Well, and we're not just out of it. We can't even, it's not even available to order right now.
Oh.
So.
Well, we've got plenty of
go with the that's why we have a lot
go
of
with
the Tim
this
Holtz.
one. Yeah, don't pay attention to, I'm using the other one. They're basically the same. They have a little dauber top on it. And in his video, he actually had a brilliant idea of putting it upside down so that you're, because it's pretty thick, and when you use it, you kind of have to wait for it to get to the bottom. So he said, just put it upside down when you're getting ready to use it, so the liquid is right there at the top. But so I just used my dauber and smashed a little bit on there, and we'll show you how that works in a little bit. And then I stamped my ladybug. Perfect for the first one. For the candied apple is that one, and I stamped a little bit so you can see that you can still see the script on the piece of paper through the ladybug, and I really like that. And you can see it on the dauber part there too. And I'll just go through the colors. The next one is picked raspberry, very pretty. This is the saltwater taffy.
Ooh, that looks different than I expected. I really like it.
Yeah, it's kind of a corally pink.
Yeah, it's pretty.
This one is wild honey. It's kind of a yellowy orange. Then we have twisted citron, which I love because I'm a green person.
Well,
it kind of matches
my
my shirt
your
today.
sweater.
Yes. Then we have salty ocean, a nice blue, and the last one is wilted violet.
I really like that purple.
Yeah. So those are all the new colors, and he has. I made some swatches of other colors that we have. Ooh, there's villainous.
Maybe
Look
you
at
should
that.
just show us each of those, Teresa. I think we'd like to see
I'll
what
hold
the
it up
colors
this
are.
one. This is fire brick. We've got Kitsch Flamingo, which I really like.
That's a nice pink.
Nice pink. This is Rusty Hinge, a little bit more orangey brown maybe. Fossilized amber.
That's different.
Yep. A mustardy yellow. Rustic wilderness. Ooh, nice green, dark green. Then we've got peeled paint. That's my go-to green.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people's.
Yeah. Broken china. Salvage patina. So that one's fairly new too. Lots of people like that one. Weathered wood. That one's been around for a long time. That one a lot of people use at Christmas. Villainous Potion. That's a fairly new one.
Dark purple.
A dark purple. And then Hickory Smoke. A nice gray.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but these are all like shiny because they are an embossing glaze.
Yeah.
And you know, Teresa, I think before we move on, we all need to get well wishes to Kathy. She mentioned here the hospital, same old food, same old blah.
Oh.
So Kathy, we are really hoping, and we're all going to be sending little prayers and happy thoughts, hoping that you can get out soon and get better and get back to doing crafty stuff.
Yeah.
So
so we will have these tags and by the embossing powders, glazes. See, I knew I was going to say it. The embossing glazes. Oh, they all fell apart.
Teresa, it's like
My
they all
ring
fell
came
down.
apart,
Like
yes.
Ring around the rosies.
So when you're looking for a color, then you can kind of, I mean, sometimes it's hard when things are in packages not to be able to figure out what the color really looks like. So hopefully this will help you guys
Well, Teresa,
pick
thank
colors.
you for making these.
Yeah.
Kim said they're a work of art. They really
Well,
are. So
I was just going for, I don't know. I like the ladybug. And that one, that stamp comes from, oh, Doug didn't bring my stamps back. Doug's putting them all on.
we'll show you the stamp in just a little bit.
Yeah. So these are really fun colors, and we've got all the new colors in stock, so there's plenty of those. So pick your favorite color or two or three.
And these are online. If you
Yep.
go online and, gosh, where are they online?
Would they be in new?
I think, are they in ink and embossing powders
Yeah,
and
I would
Tim
think
Holtz?
so.
They have their own category. Let's ring the bell, Teresa.
I think I moved it back. Oh,
We'll ring the bell and we'll have Diane tell us where to find all the colors.
okay.
Where's Chris? Here comes Chris. Don't you guys love Chris's top? I love that color
It's fun.
combination.
Color blocking.
We're just wondering where these are all listed. Could you find out what category? All right, thanks, Chris.
Okay, so there's lots of different things that you can do with your embossing powders or glazes. And we're going to show you how to do that today. But I'll show you my sample. This first one is in honor of Ukraine. I don't know, on Instagram, lots of people are doing the hashtag cards for Ukraine. So
that is really sweet.
It is. It's very simple. And I use the Spring Shadows stamp set.
I
Here's the
didn't
heart.
realize that had a heart in it. I didn't
It
realize
does.
that had a heart
It has
in
a heart, a little egg, some bunnies. This is really nice. This little background splotch, I love it. And then some fun sentiments. You know, I love images and
Spring
sentiments.
Shadows. And
Yep.
that's what she used for this card.
Yeah.
And then did you also use the Hero Arts
Yes,
postage
I
stamp?
use the Hero Arts postage stamp. And that's that one. And we're out of this right now, the nesting one, but it is on order.
It's probably going to arrive today or tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. 1, 2,
Okay,
3,
Chris
4.
has an answer for us.
I picked one that matched my sweater, apparently. Tim Holtz Embossing Glaze.
And what's that under?
Distress color. I mean, it had Tim Holtz Embossing Glaze, and then distress color. What else would
What
you like me to
category?
put under? That was,
That's the category.
Are you looking up saltwater taffy?
well, I just went to glazes.
Okay.
What else would you like it under? And I'll put it under.
Well,
something easy to
I
find.
think they're all together somewhere, all the color.
We'll find another
All right.
color.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery. We're solving a mystery.
Yeah. So there's 8, which I really like. And I have the Tim Holtz one that you can't get anymore, but then I had to buy this one.
And Maggie showed that one last week
Yeah.
for her, what was it called? Her little canvas,
Yeah.
coaster kit.
Yeah.
Coaster kit.
And then everyone
Bingo.
bought them all because
Yes.
I've been trying to keep this one in stock because it's so nice. So, you know, sending, you have to use a postage
Well, it makes
stamp.
exactly, and it makes
Yeah.
a nice white on white background. It's just a little bit different than your card base
Yeah. And that stamp set's $24.99 that we.
for Spring Shadows.
Yep.
Robin says it's miscellaneous embossing powders, but they're supposed to have their own category. So we're
All
okay.
right. The next card I made, oh, and this one I just used, an ink pad to stamp the hearts on there. And so we'll show that. Then this one is Gladys, who I just love. And here's Chris again.
Oh wait, Chris is back.
They're not all under the same thing, unfortunately. Look under Ranger New Releases, and that's where most of them are. This one was not, so we're going to try to get them all under the same thing.
Okay, and there should be in embossing powders. There should be a category for just glazes.
Well,
maybe there isn't.
And that's what I said before. It was under.
Tim Holtz Embossing
It
Glazes.
was under.
What's
Tim
that under though?
Is that a category by
Holtz. It's
itself?
a category.
That's what it's.
Okay,
Ah.
all right. So look under Tim Holtz Embossing Glazes.
Yeah, that makes it easy to find. Get all the colors. All right.
Oh, Janet's got it posted here.
Okay. Yay, Janet. Thank you.
Thanks, Janet.
That'll make
So
it
it is
super
under inks
easy.
and stamping supplies. Okay, that's what we were looking for. Okay.
If you can't find it, you can always call us.
That's true. All right, back to Gladys.
Yes. So this one I use the number 6 slimline cards, which I'm liking more and more all the
perfect.
time.
I do too. I've used it a lot.
I think when you have
Those are from Photo Play.
yeah, and they have
And it's
you
10 for $2.99.
Yeah.
So it's a really good deal.
and
you
then
get
the envelopes come separate. So I didn't think I would like this size, but I do. And it's perfect for when you have long, skinny things like Gladys. And she is adorable. She's $19.99. She's a colorized one.
Teresa loved Gladys.
I do.
And had to wait for Gladys a little bit. So
But I had to, I think it's always fun to do things. Normally you're going to do a pink flamingo, and I can't wait to do a white one. I really want to do a white one
yes.
too. But I was dying to do a purple one, and this embossing glaze was perfect to do a purple Gladys. And then,
and that's the wilted violet embossing
yep,
glaze.
wilted violet. And then for the, I took my stamp. For the little thing down here, you could use your pen because there's an embossing pen, but I use the brush strokes, which is fun.
It's a very handy
Yes.
stamp set to have.
Everyone should. This is kind of
It's
a
a good
basic one.
basic.
Yes, it's a good basic.
We try to keep that one in stock if we can.
Yeah. So that was this down here. So I grounded Gladys by stamping that, and then I had sentiments, and I was going to put them on my card, but they didn't really pop like I wanted them to. So I took my Versamark marker, and the marker has 2 tips to it. It has a marker,
Like a brush
tip, and then it has the other end for smaller details.
Oh, like a fine tip.
Yeah,
okay.
a fine tip. And so I just took the brush tip and I just scribbled. I kind of looked to see how big my word was, and I scribbled and I added my embossing powder on there. So that's a good way to use your pen. You can fill things in or do little designs, and I just did little scribbles.
And it matches the brush strokes perfectly.
Yeah. Be original and fly. I like that. So that's Miss Gladys.
Everybody's liking Gladys
Yep.
in purple. Lots of hearts. Carol even sent a purple heart. Said she's
Oh,
beautiful in purple and
yeah.
gave us a purple heart.
Okay.
So I love that.
So then this is the next card that I made. And this is, what we're still waiting for, is the honeybee kindness stamp.
And it's here today.
Oh, it's here
I believe
today?
it arrived today.
Oh, yay.
It's not unpacked yet, but we got our box today. So they're
Okay.
finally back in
Well,
stock.
I know we have a lot of people on the wait
I think
list.
we have a lot of
so
people. We're going to be making some phone calls, and if you don't want to wait for us to call you, you can just call here, but probably not for another hour.
Yeah. So it says we rise by lifting others, and I thought that was perfect with the butterfly. So you can see that I stamped, and this is the new saltwater taffy color that I used, and I stamped it using the oxide ink, and then I used the taffy glaze on top of it. And then this is a metal butterfly, and I'll just grab I should have brought a metal
So
piece.
you can
I
use
didn't.
charms and
Yeah,
different
anything
metallic.
metal. So that's how the butterfly started out. And then what you do is you put some, oh shoot, I forgot to bring some over. The, what is it called? I don't know, I'm blanking. I'll have to go back to it. You put it on there to get it to stick, because if you don't use the multi-matte medium.
Oh, okay. Instead of embossing ink.
Can you,
Chris,
sorry.
Chris is the best.
Can you get a bottle of the multi-matte medium? Yes. So what I did is I just took my finger and just spread it on there, and then poured my embossing glaze on there, and then heated it. So if you don't
I didn't realize. I've learned that. I did not realize.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
So this is the multi-matte medium. It does come in a little bottle as well, that you can squirt on if you want.
And then you just put the powder on.
You put
and
the
heat it
powder
up?
on top and then heat it. And otherwise, if you just put the glaze on with like an embossing ink, it will come off. And
Okay.
this way it stays
Oh,
on.
Chris is the best.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
She even went and got us the small bottle so you can
like
see that.
these. Yeah, I like these little bottles because it has a nice tip. I don't know why I didn't have any in my bag so I could show you. So you can just squeeze it on rather than the big bottle, which you use for big areas, but that you would need to use a brush. And I like the little tip bottle for $2.99.
Well, the butterfly turned out really nice, Teresa.
Yeah, and I put a little bit
And
of
what
green in
colors
there.
do you have on there? Is that the
That's the saltwater
taffy?
taffy, and then the
Twisted
citron. Yes, and then for the background.
Yeah, I was going
woo!
to ask you about that. Let me,
Yeah, where's my?
because it shines. She's used the plaid dye from
Yeah.
Tim Holtz, his new release.
There's that one. So
And
we're out of
it
this,
is called
but
plaid.
it's on its way. Simple plaid.
Oh, simple plaid.
Simple
okay.
plaid, yeah. And I told you guys that you're going to see this one a lot on my cards because
Well, and it fits an A2 card
Yeah,
perfectly,
it
right?
does.
You can trim it down, but it fits
yeah,
perfectly.
you can use pieces of it, and I'm sure that's what I'll be doing. But the paper that I used actually is the Ideology Metallic Jewels, and you get 36 colors, and it's $16.99. And so maybe you can't see very
well,
much.
I think
but
you can see that it. I think we can see that it's
it's
got a
shiny.
shine.
I wanted a little shine on there.
There we go. Boom. There's the shine. Very nice, Teresa. And
Yeah.
that Inside Kindness stamp did arrive this morning. UPS came really early.
They did.
He doesn't normally come till the afternoon, but he's been here already today.
I said it's because of daylight savings that he got here early.
Oh, could be. Beth said
jumped
Chris
forward.
needs rollerblades for going back and forth.
All right. And then the last card I made, Hello There, is fun because I used a stencil. Grab it. Sorry. And this one's called Floral Layering Stencil.
Floral.
Floral, yes, for $6.99. And it's a fun one that you can use all spring, and it's very versatile, I think. If you don't have a floral, it's nice. But on this one, you can see the different colors. So I did use the picked raspberry, I used the saltwater taffy, and I used the twisted citron on that one. And so we're going to use this little, I don't even know what it's
I
called.
think it's the craft spoon.
Is it craft spoon?
The Nouveau.
Craft spoon, yes,
Nouveau
that
craft
Kelly
spoon.
showed us the other day, and it's $6.49. So this will be another use for it.
And
very
Becky
handy.
used it in her shaker.
Becky
no,
did
no,
too?
no, no, not Becky.
Oh,
Sarah.
Sarah, yes,
used
to
it for her
scoop her
shakers.
shaker, yeah. And then the Hello There is the new die. Here it is.
Oh,
The
I
bold
didn't
text
realize
one.
that. Oh, good. So you use the inside of with the letters.
Yep. And that one's $34.99. It has 7 different sentiments. There's one that's missing on the front.
There
of their
is?
artwork. Yes.
Oh my
1,
gosh.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know. Maybe it's up
Maybe
here.
it's on there.
They're
All mixed together, so they're
Yes,
hard
they're
to see.
all mixed. Yes.
So that's
but-
bold text 1 from Tim Holtz and Sizzix.
Yeah. Oh, and then I snuck in a couple little ants from. I have the entomology stamp set that I put a little ants on there, but I like
So
to
you
have
could
a
put
little bugs.
Anything there.
Yes, you could put ladybugs or whatever you want on there. So we're going to show you how to do this this technique. And again, this is on that same paper that I used on my sample swatch, because I had a piece of it out and I'm like, hey, I'll just use that for my card. And I roughed up the edges, and you can see that I did ink the edges with some brown ink. Now the thing that you need to remember, if you're going to ink your edges when you're heat embossing, then you really need to make sure that your ink dries before you, if you're going to do that. You might want to do it after you do your heat embossing, because otherwise, if you ink the edges, some of it might stick on there. If
Your
it's
powder,
still,
yeah,
your
your powder.
glaze might stick on there a little bit. Oh yeah, and I did a little stitching over there.
And Teresa's going to show us how she did the flowers. There's several questions
We'll show
about
how
that.
we did that.
And then there's another question for you here. Beth is out of sticky grid paper. Could she use pixie spray instead?
Oh, on your mat? I don't know.
I suppose it depends on what you're using it on. I mean,
Yeah.
is it for stamping, for die cutting? I think it just kind of depends.
And your surface that you're putting it on, if you want to have that sticky stuff on whatever it is. I mean, if it's glass or a mat, it'll probably wipe up. I don't know how long it.
Yeah, you have to
might
clean it. You have to clean it
You
with
have to remember
soap,
that.
a mild
You have to
soap.
clean it. Yeah. I think we have sticky grid. So, okay.
What are we going to do first,
So
Teresa?
we'll
There's
just,
so much.
Yeah, we'll just stamp first, and I'm going to use the red, the candied apple, because I'm going to do a heart. So we just have clear embossing powder by Ranger, and it's $5.99 if you don't have any. There's a lot of different embossing.
It's a nice one, and you
inks.
can re-ink it also.
Yeah.
So if your ink pad goes a little dry, there is a re-inking bottle you can get to re-ink your embossing pad.
So I've got my Misty, and I'm just going to ink up my
Teresa's using Versamark. Whoops, it didn't stick, did it,
it
Teresa?
didn't stick.
Oh,
try
Beth is
again.
talking about to hold her stencil. And sure, pixie spray works
Oh
great
yeah,
for
that's
holding
what I
stencils.
used on my
Yep.
stencil. Yeah. All right, I'm going to try inking that again because it fell off.
And I'm going to respond to Kelly while you ink that. She's asking about the sticky mat for the Misty, and we do carry it. However, Misty is out of it, the company, and we're just waiting for it to come back in stock, and we will get some more.
Now I did not use. You can use your embossing buddy. I didn't use mine. I didn't bring mine today. I forgot about that. But you can see that it stamps really nice.
It did stamp nice.
And then the glaze is on there, and we're just going to heat it up. Now the thing, one thing to remember is when you use your glazes or embossing powder, is if you can hold your paper up off the table, then it's going to heat quicker and give you a better, it'll just heat quicker and go faster for you. So I use tweezers, and we do have some new tweezers in that I wanted to show you. These are, what do you call them? Reverse tweezers that I've had forever. But if you don't have any, we've got some in $9.99.
We just got those from Spellbinders.
Yeah.
So reverse tweezers means you don't have to squeeze them. Squeeze that. Let me try to get a good image of it. So when you squeeze it, they open, and then you let go and they close. So
Yeah.
they're good for hanging on to things.
And then we do have, this one is called a detailed tweezer. And so if you need to pick up little tiny things.
I have one of those I use all the time.
Yeah, these are $7.99 and also from Spellbinders. So I might have to get a pair of those. I don't have some.
And they probably have a really pointy,
Yeah, a
sharp,
real pointy
edge.
tip. Okay, so we're just going to heat emboss, and we're going to hold it up. And you know what I'm going to do?
Are you going to pick up your stuff so it doesn't blow?
I'm going to put this off to the side. And you can use a paper plate or whatever. I just have a coffee filter. And you just put it off to the side so that you don't blow it all over the place.
Then you have to vacuum.
Yeah, and I also put my lid on my ink. So the reason that you want to use an embossing ink is because it's wetter. Generally, you're going to use a pigment ink. You can use a colored ink if you have pigments. Oh, sorry.
Well, and it dries slower, and you has more time to get your powder on.
Yeah. Is it starting to go?
I think it is. Yeah, we can see it melting.
There you go. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that red.
But it's a good basic red.
Yeah. So you can use like the oxide inks, and Tim says you can use the distress inks too, but you have to move really fast because that ink dries fast. Generally, you're going to want to use more of a pigment.
I don't have any luck with the distressed dye inks.
I do not
Oxides
either.
work fine, but I wouldn't. Just don't frustrate yourself
Yeah.
with the other ones.
I don't think it's worth it either. So I'm just going to show the pen. So like I said, you can we'll just do some squiggles here, and I'll just
Can't
show
really
ya.
see it, but Teresa can see
can't
it
see it.
luckily.
And I'm going to draw a line with that one, and I'll just do the red
So
again.
the pen has embossing ink instead of like normal type of inks. Now we can see what you did, Teresa. So even if you had a little detail area that you wanted to emboss, and what is the name of the red? It's candy apple.
Candied apple. Yep. Well,
Oops, I better get over here. I don't know where to go.
I'm having a hard time seeing it because I'm angling it towards the camera. Did it melt?
Not quite. It's starting to. I think that's cool to have an embossing pen.
Yeah.
The detail scissors, Ruth, are regular. And here is the candied apple red that Teresa's using right now, which is a nice red, really.
Yeah.
It looks really bright here, but it looks like a really good regular red when you use it.
Good for Valentine's Day, Christmas, whatever red holiday.
So here's the detail scissors again, and they do have, or tweezers, sorry. They do have quite a point on them, and they are not reverse. Here's the reverse tweezers, so you would squeeze them to open them like Teresa did, and then you let it go and it will hold things for you, which is nice.
All right.
What are we doing now?
Now I'm going to stamp on the pattern paper just so you can see.
And we had a question about what the pattern paper is. Do we have any of that, or is that
No.
just something from your
This
stash?
is just a
Just
random
something
piece
Teresa
of paper.
had at home.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to ink up my image again. What color,
What color are
shall
you
we
using now?
use?
Ooh.
Probably. I like to have it out. I'll use the salty ocean on this one.
I want to say
Gosh,
salted caramel just
I
because
know.
isn't that a drink?
Yes.
Okay,
I
so
stamped right in the middle
Teresa
of the
inked
paper.
it, and then she's going to use salty ocean this time for her color. They come in those cute little jars. Oh, look
that
at
was
that.
just random.
Boom.
Where's my tweezers?
Very cool.
And when you heat, you saw me put the heat gun off to the side and turn it on. You want to give it a minute to warm up. If you're using it on a bunch of things, then it's going to, stay heated like today. But if you turn it off, then just off to the side, just let it warm up a little bit.
Then it will actually start melting instead of blowing it off. Is that awkward for you, Teresa?
My left-handedness. Oh, there, it's starting. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep the gun shadow out of it. Is it heating?
Yeah, it's heating. So Teresa's point with this is you're going to be able to see the letters and the pattern underneath.
It's going to be shiny.
And she used the stamp that we showed earlier, the brush strokes stamp. And you can make Mickey Mouse. I always say you can make Mickey Mouse ears. You use the bigger circle for the head and then the two smaller ones for ears, and it's a really good proportion. Okay,
All right,
so
can
can
you
we
see that? So you can still see the words through the paper when you stamp it. So that's the translucent part of the glaze that you like.
I'm sure Tim worked a lot with the chemists at Ranger to get it that way.
that so it works. Yeah.
I like it because I feel like it's bright colors.
Yeah,
And,
they're very bright compared to, you know, some of the other colors. Like there's peeled paint and wilted or wilderness, rustic wilderness. So yeah, these colors are very bright. So if you like bright, not that it, you know, you can't grunge it up a little bit. The other thing you can do, I mean, you can use crayon, you know, over these because it's nice and slick. And, you know, I did ink the edge. So this is a little bit less grungy than
Yeah, with the bright colors.
with the bright colors. Yeah.
And then Deb says that she uses archival ink to emboss with, and I have not tried archival ink, but you could give it a try, and if it
Yeah.
doesn't work for you, then get yourself some embossing or
Yeah.
pigment ink.
They say that you can use that as well. So
And Mary's got her pie crust in the oven. Okay,
All right.
Susie has a question. Could you layer it, Teresa, for if you wanted a thicker effect? Could you like keep your stamp in place? So like for this one, you would do your whole thing, stamp it again, and do it again. And you probably could. I don't know why you couldn't. It would just make it a little heavier. It might not
Oh.
be translucent then.
you mean use the glaze like
So you do what you did, and then
then
put it
do
back
it
in
again?
and restamp it and do it again.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, it's just going to be thicker.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit heavier.
Yeah.
Now, everyone, this paper was just something Teresa had in her stash, and we can have somebody look to see if there's another paper.
Yeah, I think it was just random.
Hang on, Teresa. Oh, I was going to get somebody out there, Chris.
Oh.
That's okay.
Is there a paper similar to that?
And can you grab me the yellow tape? I always forgot. So somebody was asking about the sticky grid tape. So when I do these sorts of, when I use stencils a lot, I will use my sticky grid tape to put my
So she's holding her paper with the sticky grid
hold
paper.
my paper down so that it doesn't move around. And then
And she reuses it. I know we've
Yeah.
talked about it in the past, but you can put the backing right back on it and you can reuse it
Yeah.
over and over.
I always have one on my desk that's been used and reused again. So then what I did is I pre-sprayed the back of my stencil with the pixie spray. Somebody was asking about that. So I already sprayed the back of my stencil. So I'm just going to stick it down.
So the
Wherever I
pixie
want it.
spray it's a light tack, and you can spray it. We use it mostly for stencils,
Yeah.
but you could probably use it for other things. When you put it on your stencil, it stays on there and you can use it multiple times.
I know, it's random though, so I don't.
We do have it.
Okay, if you want the paper, you'll need to call for it. We have a few sheets. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Amazing. It's not online, but we'll leave it at the front counter, and if you'd like it, we have a few sheets that Teresa had in her stash randomly.
All right.
I like it that it's random,
Yes,
Teresa.
it's just random.
Okay, so then you stuck it down with the
So
craft
I used,
tape.
yep, the yellow tape. I just hold it so that you can lift up. The nice thing about that, I mean, it's going to stick down because of the pixie spray, but we're using lots of different adhesives with
Well,
this
and that
project.
it keeps it in the same place.
Right, so
Everything
I can
now is
lift
going
up
to be
and-
solid in the same place. And here's the Spellbinders best ever craft tape that Teresa used, and that's
Yep.
what I use at home too.
Yeah, it's very handy. And then I'm going to use texture paste, and you
Oh,
can
that's different.
use you can use anything like paint or crackle paint or anything that you're going to use with a stencil. You can use because it's going to
this.
be wet as long as it doesn't dry quickly.
Okay, sorry.
Diane's here for breaking news.
Some of the stamps that we have, but they're not showing up online.
Oh,
But so you're going to have to call. Doug has tried to put them. They're all listed there, but they're for some reason you can't order them. So
okay. And you checked it too?
yes,
Okay.
I did.
All right.
All
right.
Janet did
And
too.
Janet checked it? All right.
Yes.
Well, we apologize for
So,
that technical
There's
problem.
a glitch somewhere this
Our
morning.
system sometimes just is not very friendly. So, but just give us a call and we're happy to get it. We're sorry about that. We don't know why.
Little commercial break there.
All right, back
Okay.
to Teresa.
All right, so I'm just using regular old texture paste today with my
It's a little spatula thing.
spatula, and we've got
Oh, look
these.
at, she's got her jars ready to go.
Yes, I've got my jars ready. And so what you're going to do is you're going to put some of this on with your spatula, and you're just going to spread it like butter. And it just depends on how thick you want it. It doesn't have to be super thick because the idea, I went off the edge. That's all right.
Do you need a paper towel or a...
No, it's okay. So we're just going to spread it on there and get all the spots.
That's really strange about the stamp sets, everybody, and we don't know why. We'll be calling our IT, the company that supports and does all of our online things for us. We'll be calling them after the video to find out what the deal is.
All right, so I'm getting my texture paste on there. And you can really like scrape. If I don't want it to be too thick today, but sometimes you want it to be thicker. It just depends on the project that you're working on.
Well, and you can scrape it, and then Teresa just puts it back
Put it
in the
right back
jar,
in there.
so you never really waste it, and it does last quite a while.
Yeah, so I can lift it up and
Let's get in there close so we can see it. Oh, there it is.
and see it looks pretty good.
It
If I
does.
needed to go back, I could put it back down and it's going to be in the same spot. So one thing I thought about was that I could pour my powder right on with the stencil, but then you're going to have stencil powder all over your stencil, and it's already messy enough, I think.
Oh, so you took the stencil off.
I just took the stencil off, and I'll just move it over to the
Hey,
side.
Chris, would you mind taking care of Teresa's stencil?
You can just
You're going to want to
put it in the
put them in
sink.
water right
Yeah.
away when you use texture paste, everybody.
so it's still hooked down to my table. So this is what I'm going to use the little spoon for. And I'm just going to get a little bit, and I'm just going to sprinkle it onto the places that I want green. So I can go in.
Oh, that's perfect
And
for the
put it-
craft spoon.
Yeah. And I mean, you can use your fingers, but I just think the craft spoon works so much better because you can get my fingers. It's hard to get in the little bottle.
Well, and then you can mix
Believe
colors
me.
up easily.
Yeah. So, what this is you're gonna end up with is a little bit of confetti color, and maybe you don't like that, but you can save it if you want. Oh, I
So,
don't know.
Teresa, are you going to put all your colors on and then dump off your
Yep.
excess? Okay.
So the excess colors are going to be mixed together. So you have a lot of powder, so
that
I
way
think-
you don't use too much. You don't
Right.
waste it as
you
much.
don't just dump it on. You have to use your fingers. So I'm going to do some pink and purple
So
because
she's got
I
picked raspberry
really
and
like the
twisted
picked
citron.
raspberry.
So here's picked raspberry. I don't
So-
know how you figured this out, but I love it. I love the results. Here's the card she made and brought in today.
And this time I'm just going to use the wilted violet instead because we
Yeah, we
haven't
should
used
do it
that
different.
today. Just to give an idea. And on that one, I use it on top of the pattern paper. This one, I'm just doing it on some white heavy cardstock. So I didn't probably get it everywhere, but I got it close enough to covering all the things because when I lift it up and tap it, then the powder's going to
it's
get
gonna
onto
fill
the
in.
other
Okay.
areas, except for, I'm going to go this way, so I really want to make sure that I got all my areas.
This is going to be so cool. I love it.
Now, the thing about texture paste is you're really supposed to wait until it dries. So, normally, if I was at home, I would
So you
tap
wouldn't
off
shake
my-
it off yet, or
No,
you would?
I would.
You would.
just to make sure that I got all the spots. Maybe there's a
And
little.
then she's can add
I'm just
some.
going to scoop. There's a little bit of green that I missed, so I'm kind of going in the green. And you see it kind of mixes, even when you pour it off, it's going to mix a little bit.
I think that's the beauty of it, because
I
look
know.
at this.
So what you can do is then you can put this confetti color into a jar if you want. And then you'll have some pretty,
I can see how that spoon is handy, Teresa. So she's just adding a few from her extra tap off here,
yeah,
which could be a muddy color.
Yeah.
When you get it all done.
depending on what colors you mix together. Yeah, I think I got most of them. So once and I'm taking my sticky grid tape paper off, and I'll just put this back on, and then I stick it in my tray on my thing, so I have it ready to use again. But so normally then, once it has the powder, I would set it aside to dry.
But we're not doing that
But we're not
today.
doing that today because we don't have time. And it doesn't take that long, you know, maybe a
Depends
half
on
an hour
maybe
at
how
the
thick.
most. Yeah, probably not that long. So what happens is if you heat texture paste before it's dry,
Yeah, what does
then
it do?
it's
I
going to
don't
bubble.
know. Oh,
And mine is a little bubbly on this one because
is?
I didn't wait long enough. Yeah, it's a little bubbly.
well, do you have anything else to show, or is this it? If this is it, I mean, we could wait.
This
and
is
dry
it. No,
okay.
it takes a little bit of time.
Oh.
So you'll
We're
see
gonna
it
go
kind
for
of
it.
bubble. And I think it's pretty. I don't mind the bubble. But if you don't want it to bubble, then you would wait your time. And oh, I do have something else to show. I forgot.
Okay.
I was going to show the
So do you want to let that
This.
dry some more?
I
Oh,
was going to
okay.
show this. Where's
Okay,
my
well,
paper? Here, I have a
While
little
you
piece.
show that, then we could probably
I'll just let
let
that
that
sit
dry.
for a minute. So this is the dauber, and remember I said we have the Tim Holtz one. So this I've had sitting upside down, but you have to give it a little push. There's a little mechanism inside there that allows it to flow. So you do have to give it a push, and you can see then there's a little bit of a glob of the embossing ink, or I don't know what they
fluid, ink, whatever.
yeah, well, they call it embossing dauber, yeah. So probably ink. So you're just, just depending. I'm just going to give it a swipe here. What color haven't we shown?
What about
The-
that one we haven't shown?
the,
What is
wild
that?
honey.
Oh, wild honey. And wild honey is what you used on this card, isn't it, Teresa?
Yeah, the blue, yellow.
And I don't know that we mentioned it, but Hope is Never Lost is from the Tiny Text
Oh, yeah.
stamp. I think because it wasn't here. But
Yep. That one's
It's got
$29.99.
lots of quotes. I use that one a lot.
So I'm just going to pour my glaze on. And that time I just dumped it on. Generally, if I don't care, I'll just dump it on. The other thing about glaze, I missed a spot there. So that's just my blob. But the other thing about glaze is once you get it on, like if you're making a whole bunch of cards, let's say, with this on it, when you get the powder on, then you can set it aside for however
that's a
long
good point.
before you heat emboss it. So if you're doing a lot. So once you get the liquid, the ink on there, you need to get the powder on, and then it's okay to set aside and not heat it because it's on there and it's stuck.
It's stuck. That's the whole
Right.
purpose of the ink is
Right.
to stick your powder to.
So, I mean, you need to move a little bit. You don't want to la-di-da-di-da. Stamp your image, pour your powder on, and then you're good. So this is just how the dauber works. Same as the ink or the pen.
So she used the distress, or she used a dauber that's just like this distress embossing dabber. Is it dabber or dauber? Tomato.
Yeah.
And then she's using wild honey right now.
And each color, it kind of depends on the color, how my paper's bending. How much you can see through. This one you can see. There we go. You can really see through it, but you still have the color, which I just think is so
Yeah, and
awesome.
you have the shine. You have the shine and the color. Teresa,
It adds a little bit of texture, which I like. Just with the glaze, any embossing powder does, but the glaze adds a little bit of texture.
Teresa, do you have another scrap of paper that we could use do your mixture
Oh,
there?
yeah.
We had some comments about your mixture. So here's what that looks like. So I wondered
Just
if you
use the dauber.
could you use the dauber and just scoop up some of this right here, your mixture?
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I don't know if anybody else is, but I'm just curious to see what it looks like. She's using her little spoon because Diana said she was thinking she's going to have to tap between each color, but then she liked that mixing.
You know, you could. You just, again, probably want to go a little bit faster.
And Carol loves this color, and it is really different from the ink.
honey.
Don't you think the honey's different than the honey ink? The wild honey ink. It seems brighter.
I don't think I have. Shockingly, I think wild honey is one of the colors I don't have.
Oh,
Ooh,
she
this
did it
might be
polka
pretty.
dots,
I
dauber.
did- Yeah, you can make polka dots with the dauber. Kind of fun. You have to be
All right.
creative with your tools.
So this is the combination of 3 colors. The wilted violet and the picked raspberry and the twisted citron. And they were the colors she used with the texture paste. And when she poured them off, she just used a little bit. I think the spoon helped a lot with that, didn't
Yeah, it sure did.
it? Cindy wants to know, could you turn the paper over and tap into the powder?
What?
Could you turn the paper over and tap it into the powder? Like flip it over and put it into there. You probably could. It might be a little messier.
Well, that's kind of pretty.
It is.
You know what it makes me think of is an Easter egg. You know how you
Oh,
dye
yeah.
the eggs, the
Let me get
Easter
this up
eggs,
close.
and
Yeah, you can definitely see the different colors. So I'm glad somebody mentioned this. So don't throw away your mixture.
no, you have to get a. You know, we sell these. I should
the
probably show the
jars.
jars. We sell the empty jars, so you could start a jar full of extras, mixatives.
You certainly could.
This is
Because they don't really make mud like ink colors might. The colors stay separate, but they're
Yeah.
all just. So that's the distress storage tin, and
Yeah.
Teresa has her jars in there.
this is the one that holds the crayons as well, and we're out of this. But
Well, we're out of it. We can't even get it right now.
Oh, that's
we're
a bummer.
waiting. It's on back order, so we're waiting for it, and we do have it on order.
yeah, you can always call and have your name put on the list. I'm a very organized person, so I like to have my stuff in.
It's perfect.
If I have, yes, if I have a container for things all together, I put them all together because then when you get it out,
and
you're like, ooh.
I tend to use it more if my stuff is
yeah.
like that.
Then I have to put it in Roy G. Biv. Yeah,
They said this would work good for balloons.
Oh,
This
yeah.
glaze would make great balloons.
they would.
And like for the jars, Teresa was talking about how you can purchase the empty jars. You could put embellishments in there, brads, eyelets.
I have
sprinkles.
sequins. I have some of my glitter that I've colored with the alcohol inks in my jars. So, yeah, I have empty jars filled with things.
Teresa's
Okay.
very organized.
Yeah, try
That's
to
why.
be.
Thus the swatches. Okay,
All right.
well we gave that a little bit of time to
yeah.
dry.
Oh, it might be. Some of it might be dry. All right, so we'll see if it bubbles.
So we're going back to the texture paste.
Yes, that's the texture paste that
the
we
technique
spooned.
Teresa used to make this card.
I'll just turn my
She just
heat
spooned,
gun on
she
a little
spooned
bit.
it on. It's so cool. Now next week, Teresa is scheduled to show us Saltwater Taffy, the new Distress ink color.
Is it going? I think it is.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, see, that one bubbled a little bit.
I can't wait to see it all done, Teresa. I think it's going to be amazing. Isn't this cool, Maggie?
Beautiful. Do you need anything?
You say hello to Maggie.
Hello.
Hey, Teresa, while you're drying that, we're going to bop over and look at Maggie's kit from Friday. With we do have some left. And this is a kit that Maggie designed. She got right back from her trip. from her hiatus and immediately made us a coaster kit, a 4x6 coaster kit. It would be so fine to see your face at my door. Maggie was inspired by the Carole King and the Farm Sweet Farm paper, so we do have a few of these left if you missed out or if you want to get a kit. It's got all the little pieces in here to make it, including, Maggie, what'd you say, one of your special
One of my
buttons?
special pearl buttons. And we had a customer that called the other day, Kelly, and she's moving. And she was going to send one of these to her friends.
Oh.
And so that they would come and visit her. And then she was making a little album. And she was going to take pictures of everybody that came and visited her at her new home.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that neat?
And she could put her address on the back, her new address.
Yeah,
So,
I like it.
very cool. So, welcome back, Maggie. Last week was her first week back. Teresa, how are we doing? Ooh.
Good. So it's shiny and it's raised. So that's the part about the stencil. If you really like a texture, I know you guys can't.
Well, it's a little hard to see it,
but it's raised. It has a nice texture. And so now you could ink this, or
right,
you know,
because it would be it would resist ink,
Yep.
the distress inks, the water-based inks. It would resist
or
that.
you
and
could use
ink-
crayons with it if you want to grunge it up a little bit, or if you just like it bright and colorful, then hey, you're good to go. But you can see how, like, here's the purple and the green on the flower, and I like that. I think it's fun. It's on my card that way too. It just kind of, you can't really keep it separate because when you dump it off,
It's gonna-
I mean, I suppose you could try and do it by each color, but you would have to work
pretty fast.
quickly.
You'd be handling it a lot.
Because you don't want your texture paste to dry before you get your powder on.
Right.
You want it to dry. And I did have a little bit of a bubbly. This is a little bit of a bubbly there. So that one, it was a little more
And that's
texture
just
paste.
because it wasn't.
It
the
wasn't-
texture paste wasn't
Right,
dried
the
yet.
texture paste wasn't dry. But that's okay. I like it.
I like it too. I think it looks great. So here's her original card that she made. And you can really see the texture and the thickness on it here. And then here's the one she did for us today. I think that's a fun technique, and you could use it with lots of different stencils.
And I think you need the
The little spoon.
the little spoon.
Teresa discovered the
It's-
craft spoon now, so
It's
she's
so
probably
much
taking
better
one
than
home.
using your fingers. Yeah.
And if you're asking about how she was heating it,
yeah.
we're using a heat tool, and this happens to be the one from Sizzix here. You can't really use a hair dryer.
Nope.
You can't use your oven.
Nope. You got to use a heat gun.
Or the toaster. Those are some other ideas I've heard.
Yeah.
So.
Don't do it over your gas flame grill or oven.
Your grill
It's
or your oven
stove,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Don't try that. So
Well, Teresa, this has been amazing, and I'm so happy that you showed us the
Yeah.
new glaze
they're
colors
beautiful colors.
from Tim Holtz. He just, I was going to say put out. He just, what's the better word for
Released.
it? Release. Thank you. The 6 new colors, and they're all very bright. I think that's what makes it amazing is that,
Yeah.
you know, we think of Tim Holtz and we
saltwater-
think of grunge.
The saltwater taffy isn't as bright as the others. They're not. I mean, it doesn't really go with the 6, but it's a new release, so we included that today.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more corally pink, but it'll be a good addition to your. I think it's a little bit more vintagey.
It
looking
is.
than the
and
other.
Is this it right here?
Yep, this one's a saltwater
So
taffy.
here's the saltwater taffy. That's his newest color.
Yeah.
If you wanted to see what it looks like, it's
but
neat.
it's very pretty too.
Very neat. And then, Teresa, thank you. A huge amount. Tomorrow we're going to have Jennifer here, and she's doing a stencil, stamp, and die set from
yeah.
Hero Arts. So we'll get to see how to use that. And she's made lots of samples. And I think Jennifer's been here once before.
She's camera shy.
So it might be her second time. She's on spring break.
Yeah.
She works for the schools, and she works for Memory Bound. And she's on spring break this week, so she's coming in tomorrow, and you're gonna love what she's got to show. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I hope you have a most wonderful, crafty week this week. And we are here today till 4, and we're here all week. So if you're out and about for spring break, come on in and see us. We would love to see you. So
Happy Pie Day.
yeah, oh yeah, Happy Pie Day. Thanks for reminding me. We're gonna go get a pie for later, Teresa.
All right.
See you all soon.